All right, my friends, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and I decided to pick up one of them 5060s. I paid $375 for a 5060 so that we can do a science project and see how this GPU really is. I know some of you guys got offended with me, calling out the bigger YouTubers, but look at it from this point of view, okay? These guys have unfettered access to basically everything that Nvidia has. They have behind closed doors freaking conversations with these guys. They pretty much get treated like freaking royalty. And to be completely honest with you, when it comes to being an influencer, YouTuber, or whatever, you get these opportunities. And let's just put it this way, okay? I'm more upset with the way that Steve from Gamers Nexus has been going about this lately. Putting these companies on full blast the way that he does, it kind of damages the prospects for other people that are coming up and want to be YouTubers, because there's always a way, in my opinion, there should be a way to be able to like communicate, hey man, like, especially with the PC space, okay? The DIY space when it comes to PC, okay? Let's put it this way. Say I go out and I buy a motherboard, okay? And I come home and I try to put it in there and I drop a piece of metal on something and it pops a capacitor or it shorts something out, okay? Just say that like I'm doing that, I mean, you guys see me put some of my stuff together. I'm kind of haphazard when I do it. Imagine somebody doing that. And then getting somebody like Steve with all of his pull, okay? Saying, yeah, man, Asus treated me bad. This is the thing. They said blah, blah, blah. And then Steve puts his whole reputation and his whole channel and everything on blast to go after said company over somebody that created their very own problem with their very own freaking motherboard or something. Look. If this was something different than do it yourself, than DIY, okay? Like say, like the whole Asus ROG thing, okay? The ROG Ally. Like how he sent his out there and they're like, oh, we noticed this little chip. I'm 100% right there with Steve on that, okay? Like I am. And yeah, these companies, I mean, like you think about it, you're Steve and you're going after him for like a couple of fringe cases or whatever. You've got people emailing you stuff that they're like seriously guys, I don't think I would ever go after a company because people in the community start emailing me stuff. If you've seen the way people act these days, you know what I mean? Like I'm not here to defend companies or anything. I'm really not, but I am here to try to help you enjoy the products that you're going to buy or that you've already bought to the best of my ability, because that's what I do. If I have a problem, I deal with it, okay? Like my motherboard on my PC, ever since I changed the motherboard on the AMD thing, I haven't had any issues with it, but I had kind of noticed like intermittent kind of issues with that old motherboard for a while, and so I just figured, you know what, let's just change it out. You didn't see me freaking out on Nvidia or on MSI being like, you guys told me a trash board. No, man, like, it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like it kind of is what it is. Now, I don't have a problem with Gamers Nexus at all. Like I really don't. I just don't like the way he did the whole Nvidia thing the other day, because look, let's face it. And this is I was talking to somebody else about this and I told him my idea. I was like, look, man, if you're a content creator, okay, and like a company like if you're Nvidia and you already know that pretty much you're going to put out this 5060, you've heard people complaining about 8 gigabytes, you've heard people complaining about being stripped down, cut down, whatever. Like you just know, like you just know that this thing is going to come out, it's going to hit the market, and everybody's going to tear it apart. They're just going to tear it apart. Obviously, it makes more sense for like Gamers Nexus or Hardware Unboxed or Linus Tech or just anybody to just crap on this card, because they're going to get more clicks crapping on this card than they are going to be like, yeah, you should buy this card. You know what I mean? Like the PC space in general is so messed up. There's like so much misinformation out there. There's so many, there's just misconceptions, like somebody goes out and they buy like the first 4K stuff and they're like, oh my gosh, 1080p sucks. 1080p doesn't suck. Like, it doesn't suck. It is still a very, like, right now, 1080p is like so past its peak. Like, you could legit buy low-end graphics cards and like blow through 1080p and get everything maxed out, no compromise on 1080p. And then 1440p is a little bit tougher. 1440p, I think right now is at peak gaming for like whatever, you know, if you want to get the best of both worlds, good quality image and decent performance, yeah, 1440p is a solid freaking option for anybody right now. But you get these people that buy like 4K or they buy top end and they just have this like, ugh, like this, like all of a sudden everything else is trash to them and it doesn't matter, it's just trash. And depending on that person's stature or status in a community, okay, say that they're, you know, say that they've got like a, you know, a couple million follow channel or something, you know, and they're like, they kind of sneer down at that lower end stuff. Well, I'll tell you guys, there's people out there that legit, like 30, 50, 60 is going to be like all they can get, like all they can buy, like that's it. You know, they're going to have access to a 1080p monitor. They're going to have access to that. Maybe the parents are like, "Ooh, I'll get you a GPU," and they look at all the prices and they're like, "Yep, you're getting that cheap one." You know what I mean? Like, there are people that are going to get this card. Like, that's it. That there's no other option for them. And so, like, somebody commented in the section in the comments the other day. They said they bought a 5080. Okay, and then, you know, because the prices are high, there's just so many people bagging on that card because, you know, theoretically, is a 5080 is a 5080 worth $1,500-$1,600? You know, if we're looking at like old school performance for GPUs and generational upgrades and uptick and stuff like that before the invention or before the addition of AI upscaling and other techniques to provide, you know, performance and stuff like that. No, probably not. Like, probably not. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't think that, I personally don't really think that paying over $1,000, see, I'll pay up to $1,000. I don't really care. You know, whatever the GPU is, $1,000, cool. I'll buy that. Yeah, no sweat off my back. I used to pay that for a phone. These GPUs are significantly more powerful than a phone. So yeah, $1,000, okay, whatever. It is what it is. I just, you know, water under the bridge. I'm gonna more than enjoy my experience for $1,000. Okay, and I did do my due diligence on that. You know, I was like, okay, so let me see, what do I get for $1,000? 4080 power? Okay, whatever. That's fair to me. That's fair to me. I can do that. I can live with that. But then, you know, when you look at like a 5080, okay, because the person in the comment section said, "Look, man, I bought a 5080. It was my first PC I ever built, and people were legit making me, you know, feel bad about it because they're saying I overpaid and stuff." And it's like, we got to stop doing that kind of shit to people, my friends. We have to stop doing that kind of stuff to people because, look, 5080, whether you like to admit it or not, is the second fastest card on the market. Well, the third fastest card. The third fastest card. The 4090 still beats it, but you're close to the top. Like, you're legit close to the top of what you can get. And if you decided to use, you know, frame generation. Oh no, don't talk about frame generation, Froggy. It's not performance. It's not performance. You're right. I agree. From now on, this channel is no longer going to refer to frame generation of any sort as performance. Like, we are going to call that experience. You guys know I'm big on experience. So yeah, we're going to substitute the word performance for experience. Okay, because that's essentially at the end of the day what it is. What is that experience going to be like utilizing these features to enhance your experience? So it just kind of works, right? It kind of works. I feel happy with that. Yes, it doesn't really necessarily improve your performance. It does introduce latency, which if you're on a controller, dude, I don't notice it. I really don't notice it. All I notice is an ultra smooth screen, and it's like, whoa, this is mind-blowing smooth, and it looks incredible. You know what I mean? Like, so I look at that as the experience. Can I enjoy and be immersed in this experience utilizing these features? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I be? You know what I mean? So if you got a 5080 and you turn on multi-frame generation, okay, you go from 100 frames to 300 frames instantly. Boom, you're just pow. Your high refresh monitor is maxed out. You're getting all of those frames. You're not losing anything. You're 100%. And the funny thing is it doesn't matter how far over your frame generation goes over your refresh rate. It doesn't bring in like screen tearing or anything like that. It's just ultra smooth. So I don't get, like, I don't understand, you know, people. It's like, oh gosh, what do you think you're losing in a single player game? Like, what is it that you're actually losing by enabling these features? Now we can debate all day long, is Nvidia and AMD being fair about the pricing of what they're asking us to pay for this experience? You know, not performance. It's not performance. Like, we all know that. Like, we're not dumb. We're not dumb. Like, we understand the whole, you know, fake frames and stuff like that. Like, they are fake. They're legitimately fake frames. It is essentially motion smoothing. But is it good? Like, does it do anything for you? Does it impact your experience and make it better in any way? Absolutely. Absolutely it does. And if the game is like really tuned for it and you've got a good base frame rate to push from, it's actually quite enjoyable, to be completely honest with you. Like, I feel pretty good about it. And so, you know, guys, when I bought this 5060 today, I woke up this morning and I was like, you know what, man, let's just buy it. Let's just buy it. Let's see if I can get one. So I got on Newegg, and sure shit, there they were. I got a white one. I got a white one to go with the white build. So I paid a little extra money for that. I splurged more. I could have got it much cheaper, but I spent more because I was like, I'm going to get a white one. To be completely honest with you guys, I would have preferred to have bought the 5060 Ti so that I could compare it to the 9060 XT. Because I'm thinking about getting one of those, okay? Like, I have this incredible monitor that does 4K or 1080p. I don't mind playing at 1080p. To me, it's not a dead resolution. It did take me a while to get to this point, though, to where I could actually play at 1080p and be satisfied with the way the image quality looks, because you do have to get used to it. You do have to let your eyes readjust to 1080p after playing at 4K and stuff. But once you readjust to it, once it clicks and you're in the game and you're immersed, boom, you're not worrying about freaking, you're no longer worrying about like the 4K. I'll tell you what, 4K actually, I find myself, you know, looking at a game, like looking at like the visuals of a game, I find myself, you know, not necessarily like kind of being like, oh man, I thought there would be more. Like I am easier to disappoint with 4K than I ever have been with 1080p. I think that 1080p, with the current fidelity levels of some of these games, actually looks pretty damn good. And, you know, I thought PC was going to be different. I did. I thought PC was going to be a different experience, you know, compared to consoles. I thought PC was going to be like this. You know, I came into PC with all the wrong notions and just all the wrong, you know, the wrong kind of mindset and everything like that. Just thinking that, like, yeah, man, this is expensive, so it's got to be better. And last generation, sorry guys, I bought that 7600 XT. You know, I paid about the same price for that as I did for this 5060. That card had 16 gigs of VRAM. That was a nice card. Like, I actually like that 7600 XT. I just wasn't getting a lot of use for it, so I got rid of it pretty quickly. But I look back at that, and I kind of wish that I would have kept that card, because, you know, I was playing that, and I was testing that out. I was getting 4K on some games. I was getting, you know, fairly decent 1440p experience on that as well. You know, so when I look at this 5060, okay, when I look at this 5060 and what I'm gonna test on it is I'm gonna mainly play this on my 1080p. We're definitely gonna take advantage of all the features. Okay, I've tested out DLSS 4 at 1080p, and wow. Even in the performance mode, it actually still looks fairly decent. You know, it at least clings to what 1080p looks like to me. And so, like, I can live with that. And so if I can get this 5060 to perform well on the games that I'm playing, you know, on that monitor, because that monitor is incredible. The OLED, I don't know why I'm freaking yawning all of a sudden, guys, but with the OLED, you know, image quality looks good, looks pristine. Obviously, I'm getting good clarity out of 1080p native, you know, 1080p whatever. It looks incredible. So that's what I want to do. I want to test out this 5060. I'm going to pull the 5070 out for a while. 5070 Ti out for a while. Throw the 5060 in there, and we'll give it a good run for its money, man. And we'll test it out. I'll play a bunch of games on it. I'll get you guys some content, some feelings about it. It's stuff like that, because I am curious to see how, you know, because when I first had the 3060 Ti, I was trying to play it like 4K, 1440p, all of that stuff, okay? But now that I kind of understand a lot more about PC, I want to test it in its own environment and see exactly what kind of experience that it could deliver for somebody that is trapped in that price range. So I want to give you guys the best content, you know, and a little more in depth than just another, you know, like, I'm not even gonna lie, I watched Hardware Unbox 5060 video just a minute ago, before I started making this video. And what I saw was like, okay, that doesn't look horrible. That doesn't look too horrible. I mean, like, I feel like these guys go out of their way to try to like push these points, like, we need to get away from 8 gigabytes. Look, man, if I was Nvidia, I would probably be trying to sell an 8 gigabyte card too. It just makes sense. Like, it's still functionally okay. Is it the best Nvidia experience you can get for money? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, you can get significantly better out of Nvidia, out of AMD, out of maybe even Intel. But having that 8 gigabytes, you know, having that option to get into the Nvidia ecosystem, having, you know, a price range that is technically affordable, probably pushing a point for a lot of people, and being what it is, I don't know. I don't know what else to say about it. I don't feel negative about it. Like I said, with MultiFrame Generation on the 5070 Ti, this is the first time I don't feel ripped off. So I'm actually quite optimistic about what the 5060 is going to do, and what kind of an experience that we'll be able to see on this. So I got a bunch of games that we're going to be testing out on it. Should be here within the next couple of days. Hopefully, we'll definitely have it by the weekend. So as soon as I get it, I'll start working on it. I'll start cranking out videos. I'll give you guys an impression on it. We'll do an unboxing video, stuff like that, and then we'll it's the Gigabyte Aero, white one. It looked cool. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.